Derek would know.
All right, there we go. Killed the music, and we are back once again for Modern Age Heroes. Bum, bum, bum.
Hey, Davey.
Yes, and Davy Jones is back in the chat. Back to hang with us a little while. You know what? Let me give him a Ric Flair woo.
Yes.
Just for that.
Woo! You
There
and
we
your
go.
woos.
I could always give him a Skeletor laugh. How's that? Let's give him a Skeletor laugh.
You have a wooey personality.
I just like my soundboard.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, since we're pretty much all here, Derek has informed us he may be in and out a little bit as he's checking on somebody. Same with Shelly. So, if you see them pop in or out, or the screen go black, never fear. They may still be around. They're just having to check on something. Somebody wanted to give us a recap because we've had some people here that are with us that haven't been here for a couple of games.
I am not it.
We know.
Yeah, I can go ahead. So let's see. It ended up being a relatively simple episode, similar to what we've done before. But it started off with Ms. Mystic asking Hyperion to create an arcane battery so that can connect to the portal for backup power or extra power in case Shon's energy is not quite enough, just in case, for the teleportation portal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Grace and Lightbringer had a heart-to-heart conversation regarding Lightbringer's grandpa dilemma and her relationship that's going on there with him. Then a supervillain, an extremely powerful sorcerer who seems to be able to manipulate dimensional energies named Saker, appeared.
Oh my gosh, it's my best friend, Colin.
And so Fathom, Titan, Thor, and Diviner were sent to fight Saker. Meanwhile, the rest of us went to collect more wreckage that fell through one of those random portals that keep popping up. We got there and found that it was the remains of a B-26 Marauder World War II American bomber. And it even contained live armament, some bombs. And while collecting that stuff and trying to get it teleported, Lightbringer made sure to keep everything invisible, like what we did last time with the previous wreckage site. But then Holocaust and this bug-eyed, teddy bear-like, evil Teddy Ruxpin creature arrived. And it took everything that Lightbringer had to maintain her illusion because it was like a large area, lots of complicated things, and it's just enough to keep us hidden so that they arrived, couldn't find us, they took off. But Megalith was helping us, and he decided to throw some of those bombs at her to distract her while we got the rest of the stuff through the teleportation diamonds, and we made it out just in the nick of time. The people who were fighting Saker, they came back a little worse for wear because apparently Saker is just that powerful. And that is about where we left off.
Yep, that is a good recap.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that. Okay. And can you say something again, Derek?
Something again, Derek.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
All right. So we are picking up at the next day at this point. D-Day, as it's been named, as the D for D-Day is for Device Day, not Doomsday or whatever.
Could be.
We don't want to be too ominous, but at this point, everybody is up and active. They have been doing all that they can to ensure that this location is safe. Some of the explosives that have been brought through from the bomber that you guys discovered have been rigged to explode starting from the entrance of this location inward to help with additional protection. Or if all else fails, to engulf you guys in the explosion so you don't have to go through whatever the heck might come next. So this is quite literally an all or nothing gambit at this point.
Do or die.
Yep. So those with magic, such as Black Mass and Ms. Mystic, have been taking turns powering the battery to ensure that it is to full capacity of the specs. The device has been laid out and is in place, which will require the 5 of the legacy with shown at the top or at the arch to begin and to charge it with her electricity. The rest of you are obviously there to help guide and coordinate the essentially the network gate is kind of what they're dubbing it. Because of the locators that they've got, all in place. A last-minute turn at this point has seen some of the plans or unfinished devices or whatnot being scooped up to be brought through as well, just in case, so that if something happens, there's at least something technological that you can bring along with you. Perhaps like the scraps for the dimensional spike that Black Mass had indicated that had been briefly worked on, which will be quite possibly one of the more important things that will need to be created once or if you make it through. They've gone over last-minute plans to the device to ensure that it should work the way it's anticipated. Ideally, what's going to happen is the 5 of the legacy are going to stand at each corner of the Pentagon, in essence, to power your specific radiation is going to be used to hopefully key in on the dimension, your home dimension, Earth Prime, as they're referring it to bring you home. Shone not only is pulling double duty. Shone is not only powering the device. Shone is going to be using her teleportation to try and lock in on a specific safe zone. That is going to be partnered with Grace, who will then open up the diamond at that point, so everybody can hopefully jump through.
And everybody else that is technically not native to Earth Prime is essentially moving there, right?
Correct.
At least temporarily for them until when and if something can
this is an abandoned ship of this dimension at this point. Everybody you've been working with is like, okay, that we're all in to get out. Any place has got to be better than here, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And thank you to Davy Jones. Billy now has a free reroll, so be sure to mark that down on your character sheet. So should something happen, aka possibly tonight, that goes disastrously, you have a free reroll.
Don't tell me things are not going to go according to plan.
Well,
At least with a little sense of hope.
to quote
You did roll up a new character, right?
Dang it.
to quote a famous hero, it's going to take Cracker Jack timing, Wang.
Nice.
For those of you in the know, that was Jack Burton
Yes.
from
Epic show.
yes, Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Now I'm
So-
going to have to go watch that.
I strongly suggest
Okay.
everybody. You know what? Since we're doing that,
Do I get XP deleted if I say that I didn't like it?
yes.
Okay, never mind.
So in fact, just for that, we're going to go ahead and this is an appropriate time sound. Here we go. This is from Thunder.
Play your cards right. You live to talk about it.
And for those of you who can't hear that in my game, that was Thunder speaking to Grace when she first showed up. He pointed at her, and it's one of the only speaking lines he has in the film. And he's all, "Pray your cards right, live to talk about it." As he grimaces at her.
Nice.
Should we roll for karma before we get started?
Good idea. Who would like? Do we have any birthdays this month?
My unbirthday.
Yeah, I have my own birthday.
That would be no. Okay, so somebody want to go ahead and roll that in the chat?
I can go ahead and do that. Let's see here.
There you go.
D10.
Dun 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 dun.
All right, roll the 6, and because there's 5 of us, well, let's see. So for Billy so far, that would then be 300 karma for him.
Correct. So
For the
Billy,
rest
write down 300 karma for you.
Yeah. For the rest of us, we multiply that by 5, so that's going to be 1,500 karma in our pool. We currently have 90 in our available, so we can bump that back up to 300. So that takes 210 away from that. So then,
I'm glad it's not me doing this math.
Yeah, you're kidding.
Hashtag not a math major.
minus 210. So that means that our group available will bump that to 300, and the remaining 1290 will go into our group bank. So now our group bank is at 4,160.
And we have karma to spend.
Yeah, he offset that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now our group available, the stuff that we can spend for like stunts and all that is
Yep.
back to 300, and our group bank is now up to 4,160.
Awesome.
All right. So at this point, is there any last minute prep? Is there anything anybody wants to do outside of following a tip from the Blues Brothers and praying to God?
Let's see.
Do this thing.
Can I do my power stunt?
Sure.
Crossing my fingers that my phasing ability comes back and all these dimensional deconstruction of my molecular structure going into another phase and then coming back and everything else.
I'm gonna do my power stunt too.
It's just not natural.
It's a solid thing. Yeah.
So who is attempting to do a power stunt then?
Oh, I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing something wrong. /R.
It's not
Right.
/R.
Since we're in the supers roll thing, it's
Oh.
going to be
Exclamation.
point roll.
Oh, that's
and
right.
then-
Yep. When in doubt, if you can't remember it's pinned. So all you have to do is look at the pinned area and it will tell you.
Yep.
Uh-oh, Davy Jones redeeming some more points.
That is a negative.
Okay. Lightbringer. Davy Jones has just redeemed some points for you.
I also got a white result on my power stunt.
All right. So Shone and Lightbringer both fail on your power stunts.
This is my 53rd white roll on my power stunt. How many do I need?
How many white rolls? Yeah.
All the white rolls.
You know what? I think Hyperion would like to try a power stunt, and it's based off of what Megalith had mentioned earlier, where he's like, "Hey, can you just make your like clones or whatever, like pick things up?" And at the time, no. So then Hyperion, to see at the very end of like putting things together, if he can make his own workforce or whatever, he's gonna see if he can change the like energy signatures of his copies to be tangible.
Okay. So you need to spend 100 karma since it's a brand new power stunt, and you need a red result, which you cannot spend karma for.
Right. Okay. Based on incredible 40. Late feet. Not happening.
All right. So at least you get the karma refunded.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys are, I guess, doing last minute prep of, okay, well, I may never get a chance to try and teleport again. I may never get a chance to try and predict the future again. I may never get a chance to make multiple me. Okay.
Let's see. What else would happen? So then we've got the portal being made. The trans-temporal spike, has that been completed, or they've got the plans to like make it?
They've got the plans to make it at this point. It's something that should be relatively easy to build.
Okay.
You're just going to need the additional scrap. So it's like you could probably, given your big brain, you could probably do it in a day safely. You know, if you get back.
Right. So that's going. Yeah, can't think of anything else. Just making sure to doing the last minute adjustments to the teleportation thingy, or
Okay.
interdimensional portal.
So as everybody is starting to gear up at this point, the base is rocked. There is a loud boom from above. And there's a momentary pause as everybody just kind of looks around, kind of into nothing, like one would do with a loud sound, and you were attempting to kind of coordinate with your own mind, like where that might have been. And then another as the base is rocked. Black Mass, makes a call out to everybody, and he just quickly get to the chamber. We need to do this now. It looks like Saker's found us.
Understood.
All right.
Legacy, come to me so that we're all the anchors. I'll get the machine prepped. And he starts activating it.
Okay. So everybody getting in place. Essentially what you're doing is you're just kind of standing on a platform. You're not like physically hooked up to the device, but the platform itself is designed to, for lack of a better term, siphon your specific radioactive signature in an effort to lock. So you'll have a moment to jump from it, which you'll probably all have to do at the same time once the portal has been opened. But you'll obviously have to allow everybody else to do it, because if you don't, if you jump first, it closes and everybody else is stuck.
So like that elevator thing where you all like jump at the same time.
Yes, but no.
That's not how that
I know
works.
Billy is not needed in that circle, but he's going to be handy to play diversion if
Yes.
that needs to
Yeah,
happen.
and that's exactly why they have certain things set up. Like they've got a couple guys they're going to use, like Thor among one of them, to help repel any waves, or anything that might be coming through, to give everybody a chance to lock in, barring any issues or whatnot. So, Davy Jones is redeeming some more points.
Oh boy.
Looks like he's got a lot of points to give. Who's he going to? Sean.
He doesn't want us. He doesn't want us to reroll characters. Thank you, Davey.
Okay. Oh, and just as a reminder, next week we are going to be at Game On Expo. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We are hosting 2 panels, so please come out and check those out. They're going to be gaming related, one of which is, of course, everything except D&D, and the other one is about storytelling elements and character development. Basically how to put the story to your character and flesh out existing ones. So hope to see you guys there. All right, so back to game. So the explosions have happened. They seal off the last door that leads upward through the elevator shaft and where the explosive devices have been set up. And the whole place rocks again. Hyperion, since you are setting this up, give me a reason check.
Okay. Seven green feet.
Okay. You've done the best prep work that you think you could have done. You think everybody is aligned according to how you envisioned everybody standing. Everybody then, gets into place. As you lock in, you can smell the ionization in the air as soon as you step onto the platform. It's got that there's a specific scent that you can smell coming off of this. As you can feel, if you have it, hair starting to rise up a little bit on your body. And then you throw you power the turbines, throw the device into.
How does that react with me, since I'm like an organic metal almost?
You're sparking.
I'm sparking?
Yes.
Wonderful. I guess it's a good thing I've got a high endurance.
I bet it tingles.
Yeah.
That probably mean that Hyperion's sparking a little bit too.
Not quite as much because you are organic and inorganic. He's specifically liquid metal.
Yeah.
So he
And that is that only because they're in that circle?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So Billy is safe then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, right now,
Looking in his dark.
basically, Xenofreeze right now is a big do not touch sign for static electricity.
Got it.
Keep your floppy disks away, as well as unprotected electronic devices.
Yeah.
So it's starting at this point. Shone, give me an endurance check.
Oh boy. Okay.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Shall we donate?
You have to state if you're going to spend karma before you roll.
Hmm.
You're like, I was going to spend 20. Because that's all I needed to be green.
I'm going to spend some.
What's your
I have incredible.
Okay.
Incredible.
So let's see. At incredible.
Incredibly.
Looking at the table for that.
Incredible.
Okay, so to get like at least a green, you need to get a 31. For a yellow, that's at least 61. What if we did, to make sure you're at least green, we could spend 30. That way, if you roll 1, it gets you there.
Okay, Captain.
Sweet. All right, so we'll spend 30.
Captain.
Ooh, why can't I do that on my?
You got 124.
Dang.
You're like, I'm sparking even more.
I would have liked to have had that for my power stunt.
So basically, what happens at this point is Shone supercharges the device, probably because she's about had enough. It's time to go home, and she's a little paranoid with everything going on about. So just bam, you guys feel a minor jolt of electricity go through your body. Nothing damaging or serious, but you feel at this point the device kick on. And like at the base where the gateway is coming, it's crackling energy and sparkling like a mad scientist device at this point.
Shone has a date to get to.
And at that point, Xenofreeze, you now also have a reroll. Davy Jones is cashing in all the points.
Woohoo! Thank you, sir. Make sure I write this in pencil, not pen. Hey, I've got a reroll. I've had it forever. I've erased it, but it just doesn't go away. It's the magical reroll.
Close that out. All right. So, as that is happening, Shone, it is now up to you because you're pulling double duty. You need to open up your teleportation. So go ahead and roll against that.
Okay. Should I spend more? I have RM for my teleportation.
That's going to be critical. So maybe spend at least 35 so that guarantees a green. What do you think, folks? Are we good with that? Yeah? Okay. Yep. All right. So we'll spend 35 on that.
Ooh.
Good thing. So that gets her a total of 60 from the roll, which means at remarkable, that's green.
Perfect.
Well, she was remarkable. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, for her teleportation.
Oh,
I'm always
incredible.
remarkable.
Okay.
And Davy Jones apologizes. He says he's maxed out all of his hero rerolls.
Who did not get one?
Dale.
I didn't get one, but that's fine.
I'll
That's
give
all
you
right.
one.
So, You are focusing at this point. Sweat is starting to come off your brow as you are opening up the and you can start to hear kind of a hollow echo, almost as if you threw a rock down a tunnel that had an echo, but then had a feedback loop. So it's not super loud, but it's got like a very critical kind of hollow electronic almost sound to it, like, you know, as it's clearly starting to open up. And as you were doing that, you can now see it's almost like somebody rapidly hitting the channel up button on their remote and watching just the television go, you know, running through different scenes. And like even momentarily like flashing by of different, you know, different scenes or people or whatever. And at that point, Grace ends up focusing to start trying to open the teleportation diamond. And that's when you hear the first chain of explosions rock the base. Very, very loud as the improvised bombs or improvised explosives made from the World War II era bombs start detonating above. Just and you know, Thor at this point kind of, you know, grips Mjolnir and is clearly ready. You know, he's been ready since before any of you got here. You know, this is the final showdown sort of thing. It's the final countdown. And even he is starting to spark a little bit of electricity, being the god of thunder that he is. Megalith, of course, can't really help with anything that's going on, so he figures he could practice some beatiturgy on anything else coming down, like everybody else. And Billy, of course, I'm sure you're like kind of getting yourself amped up. Do you have your guitar out?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Guitar's out. Metal stance acquired.
Okay. So you're pulling an Eddie from Stranger Things?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect reference.
All right. So you've got everything ready. Your mohawk is flashing, you know, is kind of rotating some in color, and you can start to hear the hallways start to collapse out there as you guys are still focusing on trying to essentially get the portal open. Grace reports that as she is attempting to open the diamond, that it isn't stable enough at this point. So she's straining and focusing while Black Mass at this point adds magical power to the battery to ensure that for some reason there isn't a flux in the power. And then another explosion. Dale, you just got a reroll from Shelley. And it's very much like that scene from Rogue One, where the lights down the hallway are just flickering enough so that you can see something is coming from down that hallway. And without hesitating, Thor, you know, screams, "Lay on!" and wings Mjolnir right down the hall, and you hear a loud pang as it connects with something, and then energy rippling out from the other side as blasts start coming out and striking all around you. Billy, so you have the opportunity right now. It would mean it's going to be more difficult for you to attack, should you attack, but you can also actively attempt to dodge. And if you would like to, you can roll your agility, which would make it a little bit more difficult for them to hit if you're successful. Otherwise, you could stand your ground and just return fire.
Oh man, that's a tough call. I'm gonna try something, so I'm gonna stand my ground.
Okay, so you're not gonna dodge. Doesn't mean necessarily they hit. And that still means that they don't hit. So the initial opening fire is kind of wide. The blast that looks like it probably would have hit you ends up hitting Megalith, to which he winces a little bit and snickers.
Okay.
And they they go charging in at this point to kind of close the gap and ensure that there's distance to fall back just in case.
Sounds good. And I do have a question because I tried looking this up a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Does transformation require focus? Like, is that something that I have to concentrate on?
Yes.
Damn. Okay. Okay.
Now, that is something you could research in the form of a power stunt if you decide to delineate it down to a specific creature type.
You
You're a
mean
transformer?
element?
Or element, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a transformer.
Okay. I am.
He's more than meets the eye.
More than meets the eye.
Yes. All of a
I
sudden,
want that sound effect.
all of a
yeah.
sudden, he turns into Soundwave and just starts randomly ejecting stuff out of his chest. Like, okay, I give. This is just too much.
Like, is that a robotic Doberman?
Why, yes. All right. I'm going to move forward as well then.
Okay. So combat at this point is initiated. We will get to that in a second. Shone, give me a roll for your endurance.
Hey, hold on to your butts. Oh my god.
White feet.
Oh. Ouch.
Okay. So the power obviously is starting to flicker towards the device. Give me a roll for your teleportation.
Okay. Green.
Green. Okay. So at this point, you guys hear amongst all the conflict and what you hear Grace yelled that it sounds like we've got a lock, but power is down to 50%.
With that said, would 50 do I know if 50% would be enough for all of us in the base to get through, or does that need to be higher?
Well, considering since it started, the power's already down to 50%, it would not be enough.
Okay.
Shone is going to have to push it
Okay.
at this point to try and get it back over the cap while everybody is fighting to keep the area clear.
So then Hyperion is going to shout, because I'm assuming there's like explosions and loud sounds everywhere. So he's going to yell out, "Shown as much power as you possibly can right now."
Trying.
Okay, so at that point, so we are now in initiative. Mike, since you're the only one fighting, go ahead and roll. Oops, let me get this open here. Go ahead and roll a 1d10. And Shone, you just got a reroll from Brittany.
Thank you, honey.
Now,
I love you too.
rolling a d10, that's just
You can do
nope. That ain't
It's
it.
slash
it's just
R
slash R. Yeah.
space 1d10.
Oh, okay. Eight.
All right, not bad. Okay, so as combat has begun, and probably because you stood your ground, you didn't get yourself out of position. You are in a place right now to attack first, if you'd like. Swarming down the hallway are more of these. The best way to put them is they look like they're maybe some sort of reptilian-like creature in science fiction-looking armor.
Okay. I want to try. Billy's going to try using sound generation and manipulation and just start hammering out power chords and throw that straight down the hallway as hard as he can.
So, sound generation as an attack.
Yep.
Are you strumming any particular chord, or is it just da-da? Just
It's
random?
just like thrash metal riffs.
Okay. I was curious if you're going to continue doing the Eddie thing and start playing, Master of Puppets.
I haven't really figured out whether Metallica was in the universe Billy came from.
Sure. No problem.
No, just
No,
put it on loop
just
and just start playing Panama.
we got a green.
Green result. Okay, so you fire. They are attempting to dodge, but unsuccessful. So you guys hear behind you, from where you guys are positioned, you hear music start as a very thrashing metal chord begins, and you hear almost as if it like echoing down the hall as there's bright light coming from, because it emits some sort of like noticeable energy signature. Just you end up striking one dead center and knocking it end over end back onto its chest.
That'll work.
And you at this point, Thor and Megalith are in hand to hand, like swarmed with these creatures. You actually Armor has run up forward as well. Armor looks like he just think kind of, with the exception of the helmet, think very much somebody in a silver armor. It looks very much like a kung fu version of Iron Man with some like bladed weapons and whatnot. So he's jumped forward. His brother Silver Streak is hanging back by you and is lobbing energy occasionally as something comes through. Fatal has not stepped forward yet. She has actually tapped Fighting American on the shoulder, and he's taken a moment to recover before he goes running in. So she strikes a stance, and it looks like she's ready to go kung fu because she took some of his skill. Diviner is actually back by you as well. It's kind of a second tier defense. Fathom has stepped forward a little bit, using water blast occasionally to offset them and keep them preoccupied. She can't freeze it, obviously, but if she engulfs them, she can throw them around. Also, being somebody who can convert to water, it looks like it's harder for them to affect her directly. So as soon as they start getting past, like she'll engulf one or slam them around or something. So she's kind of mid-range between the front line and second tier defense. Titan has grown a bit, but obviously in these confines he can't do much. So he's actually staying back on the second level defense, where he has a little bit more room, so he can, in essence, act as a wall if he needs to. Not Grace. Grace is actually trying to secure the diamond at this point and get the the dimensional rift open. And Ruby at this point, while not engaged, she's attempting to disintegrate debris that happens to fall anywhere near anybody. Essentially keep the room clear and prevent anything from falling and hitting the members of the Legacy, which would clearly jack up the device that they're working on. So that is what is happening. Fighting again is really thick. Even though Armor, Megalith, and Thor are duking it out with whatever is swarming in here, there are creatures that are getting by, and these lizard things with the semi high tech armor. If you look in the chat, I did post images of them from last week, so they are there. They have 4 arms and 2 legs, so they are humanoid looking, but they tend to carry like what appear to be like blasters or rifles of some kind, energy weapons. And so at this point, Shone, they have bought you another round to try and push this. So give me your endurance check.
Nice. Yellow feet.
Yellow.
Okay. So at this point, you start to recover, getting your wind, although it's seriously taxing you at this point. You push harder, and with the power that black mass is starting to feed it, the battery itself is up to about 75%. So you've managed to gain some. You need to roll for your teleportation.
I'm gonna reroll.
You can't re-roll once it's already been done at this point. But if you would like to re-roll for your teleportation, you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna reroll. I got a white.
Oh, you've already rolled? Yeah, you
she
better.
just rolled.
Okay.
Much better. Yellow feet.
Okay. So at this point, you guys can hear and see it. At this point, Shone did the best that she could with the teleportation, and now the diamond that is open. It is very clearly locked on what appears to be maybe a park. I mean, you see a couple trees, some green grass, a bench.
So with Hyperion's total memory, can he use that image to figure out exactly where it is, or does he need more
That's going to be
information?
tough, but I'll certainly let you get a roll for it. Go ahead and roll your intuition.
Okay. Intuition. Yes.
Obviously, if you had Google Maps in your time frame, this would have been a lot easier.
Right.
But you don't. Hasn't been
Eight.
invented yet.
Yeah. Green feet.
Green feed. Okay. So you recall a time when last you accessed Sierra Maps and scrolled around. Mike is laughing because he used to work for Sierra.
Oh, nice.
I did.
And you scroll and you're like and you say, yes, this is actually a city. You don't recall where, but this is actually a city park within Strongford.
Okay. So then, yeah, Hyperion will go, that's Strongford. It's confirmed. Anyone who can, move through the portal.
Okay. So at that point, all right. So Mike, I am going to ask again, are you going to stand your ground or dodge?
Are
Dodging
those the only two choices?
Yes. Dodging
Okay.
doesn't mean you can't attack. It just
No,
means,
I
it
get
means
it.
if you decide to return fire, it's just going to be more difficult. So,
Yeah, I'll go ahead and dodge.
okay. So go ahead and roll
I-
your agility.
Played my luck once. I'm going to do it again.
So it's going to be off of your agility.
Green.
All right. So that is not too shabby. It's going to knock off 2 column shifts from their attack, which is just enough. So you kind of take some you take some advice from Dodgeball, and you do a little bit of dip, and you do a little bit of ducking, and a couple shots like go wide. They go zipping past you, as you can hear that they've got a lock.
Okay.
So are you going to take a moment to return fire, or are you going to bail and jump through the hole?
The mission is to get through that portal, so
That is correct.
That's the focus, and that's what Billy will do.
Okay.
And
So
he'll yell out that he's falling back and start booking it.
Okay. So there's another explosion at this point as you guys see Thor come flying back into the room and get knocked back onto his back. As you can see, ripples of arcane energy rippling down the hallway as more of these creatures are starting to come through. And Billy, as you're starting to fall back, you can see armor at this point is just kind of drenched in green. As he has just been going Weapon X style, snickety snide, cutting his way through these things just left, right, and center. Megalith at this point is resorting to just like grabbing some of them and using them to beat others with him, just like racking them around, as best as he can as that energy attack flies out. The others who were left as another line of defense, they're already starting to jump through.
Now that we have it open, can members of the Legacy move from their positions, or would that mess with the portal?
It would mess with the portal. You guys are going to have to be the last ones through.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. All right, and so then Hyperion will he'll subvocalize this so that just our team hears, so that the enemy won't hear. Hopefully, maintain your positions. We must be the last ones through for this to work.
Can we return fire, or do we need to just focus?
Do I know would that disrupt it? If we're firing something, as long as we're standing in our positions, would that be enough, or can we fire while standing here?
That is a great question and something you actually did not account for.
Is that something that I could figure out by myself?
You could certainly try. Yeah.
Okay.
So the question then at this point is, do you want to roll your reason, or do you want to Hulk out your reason?
I'll just use a regular sized reason.
Okay.
And I got a white. Okay.
So are you wanting to re-roll or no?
I don't know. Is it? Do you think it's dire? Should we? Okay, I'll go ahead and re-roll.
Okay.
Should I use the Hulk out reason this time?
Reason Grande.
Probably wouldn't hurt.
I mean, I probably won't need it again tonight, so.
Yeah. Even if you do, it wouldn't be that bad.
Okay, I guess that's true. It's not like a one-time only.
Right.
Okay, so to do that, that is CS 3000, which is.
Basically, you need to roll a 1 to fail.
What's the code for that?
That's 3K. Didn't go through.
It no worky.
Oh,
there we go.
It's red.
Red
78.
red result.
Boom.
Okay, so you surmise that there is a greater than significant chance that if you disturb the sensitivity of this device, you could throw off the coordinates.
Okay, I will communicate that to the group, that we need to stay focused and not disrupt the energy of the device.
Hyperion will be like, good thinking. Maintain positions. No power usage until we leave.
So before some of the others fall back, because obviously the creatures are starting to swarm on the inside, Black Mass ends up turning around and casting, even though he was powering the battery, he turns around and casts a spell of like an Eldritch Wall, and like this purplish black wall puts up, in the way, which, of course, there's still some of the creatures that were in here. Fighting American, however, you see he ends up, because he's got his shield in his hand, and he cocks his shield and points it, and you see like triple barreled action just starts going, and as he starts spraying down some of these guys close range with gunfire.
Okay.
Eat that, Captain America. So
that's a little more handy than just throwing it.
Yeah, exactly.
A little, just a little.
This shield can fire 500 freedoms per second.
Oh, good Lord. Wow. Jeez.
So at this point, again, they now that the wall is in place, you can see somebody striking and lashing out against it magically, very viciously at this point. But it's bought the group a little bit more time as We need another endurance check, and then another teleportation check.
I'm gonna use some karma.
Yeah, let's see. What's your endurance at again?
Incredible.
Incredible.
I need 35. I think is what we said last time.
Let's see here. So to ensure a green, we can spend 30. So we can do
30.
that.
Okay.
Sean just got another reroll from Brittany.
Nice.
Thank you, Britt. That's a yellow feat.
So
Okay.
30 plus 73 will actually make that a red feat.
Okay, so that
Man, I'm gonna re-roll again on my teleportation. Gosh.
okay. So the battery is at full at this point. What about the teleportation?
I'm gonna re-roll and use some karma.
Okay.
Do we have enough?
You've got that's remarkable for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we can spend 35 to ensure it's at least a green.
Okay. Of course, now it's yellow. Okay.
So
So
then another red feat.
Yep. So 2 reds.
All right. So at this point, you are keeping everything open. Battery is back to full power at this point, and the rest of the others are now jumping. They're actually jumping through?
So it's just us
So
left.
Billy's already gone through. The others have gone through at this point. It's just you and Grace.
Just Sean and Grace or us and Grace?
The team and Grace.
Okay.
So then would Grace need to go through before the rest of us? Or
Grace is actually going to have to be the last person since she's opening the diamond.
Okay. So then the rest of us can go through like sequentially at this point, and then she goes immediately last.
You're actually going to have to go all at the same time. You're going to have to take that nesty plunge simultaneously.
All right. And is she like right next to us, or is she still kind of far away?
Yeah, she's right next to everybody. She didn't go very far.
All right. So then Hyperion will go. Now's the time. Everyone jump through at the same time on 3. 1, 2, 3. Jump.
So everybody jumps at this point. And let's see, one last ditch attack. So in a split second, as your group like all jump and kind of get into a ball, kind of bump up to one another as you get sucked right into this hole. And as you are going through, it's almost as if you hear loudspeakers projecting thousands of different televisions, of different news and other languages as all at once, just kind of coming at you. And as you're going through, and Billy, you saw this as well, it's almost as if the world is distorting and slowing down as you are coming through. Like you almost feel and see your body's getting stretched out of proportion as you are, essentially coming through the dimensions. And for like brief moments, you can actually see like into a layer that was in between, these worlds, and like a brief flash of like, like 2 crystalline creatures walking some crystalline dog, and like a flow, just free flowing energy from some other place, and a desolate wasteland. Like it's all just quick flashes of almost disconcerting informational overload that you're getting. Like I said, like rapid channel surfing.
And a spider pig.
Like everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah. No Peter Porker, the spider ham. And in that moment, as you can see just above you, and everything, of course, is slow to react, you can see explosions above you as the portal that you had come through closes.
Okay.
It's hard to make out much else, and then and almost as quickly as everything started, you guys fall hard on terra firma, like just bam, 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 like everybody connects hard with like the ground. You can hear pigeons flying away because you alerted birds, because clearly no one saw this happening, and just all of a sudden instantaneously everybody's there, and you all almost fall all on top of one another, just bam 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 bam, bam, and just and dogpile one another like right in the middle of this park.
Hopefully, I'm on the bottom because as heavy as I am,
Yeah, that would suck.
I'm gonna slam my watch and change into my uniform if I wasn't already.
Oh, okay. We'll assume that you guys were, because you
Okay, good.
had enough time to prepare.
Right.
And everybody's left like kind of looking around, and then instantaneously I need everybody to make a endurance check. And let me know if you get a red feed.
Too many windows.
I got a yellow.
Okay.
Yellow.
Yellow.
And green for me.
Perfect.
Wow. Yellow.
Okay,
Why
so
did it roll twice?
so it sounds like a bunch of people got some yellows, got a green. Davy Jones says perfect. So at this point, almost everybody from the group, not everybody, but almost everybody. There's a couple people with like real strong, hardy constitutions. Motion sickness catches up with you all at once, and
God.
everybody heaves and upchucks.
Ah,
It's just like, and just, most everybody, of course, has food or whatever have you. Xenofreeze starts, Technicolor yawning some foreign device, some substance that no one's familiar with.
That's lovely.
And at this point, like as everybody
All right,
starts
I'll
recovering,
reabsorb it later.
everybody starts, like starting to recover and look around. There's a small crowd starting to form around you guys at the park, and it's that moment where everybody's just kind of like in awe or just kind of stop, and just the only action from the crowd is like one kid loses his balloon. It's just like, whoa.
Wicked!
We figure out what time. I mean, are we right on time? Are we early? Are we late?
Looking around, do we see the rest of the facility's worth of heroes? Are they anywhere around here?
Oh yeah. Everybody, like I said, everybody almost dogpiled on one another. So it's
Okay, gotcha.
And so you had that one moment where you guys realized you're all on top of one another. Then, oh, I'm way too queasy, and then everybody kind of broke enough to, if they had to expel or get sick or whatever, so you guys are kind of huddled around in a small crowd.
At least we were able to separate enough for that.
Yeah.
Then Hyperion will stand up, trying to recalibrate, and he'll say,
After Hyperion puked out some 10W30.
I wasn't even using that. So he's gonna say, Hyperion to mainframe. Do you read?
There is nothing.
This isn't good.
Nothing comes through.
What
And as you're
year
looking,
is it?
and like everybody's kind of like looking around, they're like, "Wait, is that the legacy?" And you hear some like murmuring, going around. It's like, I don't know. They came through with like a bunch of other people I don't recognize, and more murmuring.
Carmen will look to somebody in the crowd and that's watching them and say, "What year is it?"
The classic.
Mm-hmm.
And so they look like super confused, and they're like, and one guy who was watching, he's got his skateboard with him, and he's like, dude, it's like 94, man.
What month and day?
Oh, It's getting close to Christmas.
When did we leave?
Yeah, when did we leave?
That's a great question. When you guys left, it was summertime.
That's what I thought.
So it's been 4 to 6 months.
It's been at least 4 months.
All right.
Okay.
Oh
And-
no.
And we were in that dimension for like, what was that, like a week-ish or
Couple of
something?
weeks.
maybe? Or-
You guys were there a week and a half total.
Okay. And so, yeah, so then Hyperion will go. There was time dilation as was expected. We're 4 to 5 months in what was our future.
And Cypher at this point is still holding her stomach. She's like, "Tell me we made it." Oh,
We made it. It's just we made it
Carmen's,
later.
Carmen's gonna look to the same guy and say, "Who's the president?" You don't have to like make up a name. You can just say it's the same one that it was.
yeah, it's the same one. No one's changed.
Okay.
Clinton.
I was thinking there for a minute because that's a good line from "I Was Born in East LA." Because by Cheech, he does that song. It's like, well, who's the president of the United States? It's that cowboy guy. John Wayne.
Ronald Reagan.
Yep.
In this group of onlookers, are there any like street cops who happen to be in the area, or like anybody of like authority happens to be in that?
No,
spot?
nothing like
Okay.
that. But at this point, like you've got some people. They're like one couple who had been out taking pictures for, nature or whatnot. They're like, "Oh, quick, take a picture." Click.
Yeah.
And click.
Grabbing it and shaking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Carmen is gonna like hug Grace and say, "I think we made it."
Sean's looking for those blob things. She's
No, you guys don't see anything. It's about middle of the day at this point when you got here.
So Hyperion will walk up to the closest bystander,
Okay.
and he'll say, "Citizen, clearly we've been gone for some time. We disappeared when the event was happening here in Strongford with those beings coming out of portals. Do you remember that?"
Okay. Yeah. So some rando guy from the crowd is like, "Oh yeah, man, I remember that. That happened downtown a couple months ago. They got that whole place closed off. They done thought you got like disintegrated or something."
What was the ultimate result of that? Did those beings leave?
I don't know nothing about no beings, but I think the government's got that on lockdown, and that they were doing a cleanup or some such. All I know is it's a pain to get through downtown now because of traffic. They diverted everything from that area, got it all cordoned off and whatnot. Next thing you know, they're gonna put them deviant types there and turn into some other fair side again.
Well, sir, I doubt that's the case, but thank you for your information.
Oh, hey, no problem. Who are your friends? We ain't. I don't think anybody here's ever seen them. And of course, now the crowd is kind of get behind in their unofficial spokesperson, and they're just like, "Yeah, they're like, who are these people?"
That's classified.
And he's like, "Oh," and he starts like nudging somebody next to him. He's like, "See, I done told you it was another government thing."
And then Carmen will say,
Slow down there, hillbilly Jim.
maybe we should call Nene.
I was just going to suggest that.
Does this guy
call
does this
the
guy
office.
randomly spit off to the side?
No. No, he ain't got no skull.
We may need to head down to the location where all of this happened, and then we'll need to head back to the vein.
Do you want me to teleport us?
He's gonna first look to Grace was the one with the teleportation diamonds, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's going to look to Grace and say, we should be back momentarily. The rest of you can stay here. Make sure you recuperate from the traversal we just went through. And then he looks to Shone and says, the rest of us should teleport to see what we can do.
So where do you want to go first?
Your idea is sound. We should actually head first to the Aegis Foundation building and see if they can give us the information we need. After that, we need to go directly to the vein.
Okay, so she will teleport them to Aegis.
Quick question.
Okay.
This is Billy's second jump. Third city total.
Mhm.
Does any of this look familiar as far as landscape? I mean, obviously the culture and the technology is going to be vastly different from his home dimension, but does anything look familiar at all?
Here, no. No,
Nothing.
this looks like an average big city that you might find somewhere, maybe like in the Midwest or something.
Okay, so he's not even in the same part of the country.
Correct.
Right? So, okay. All right.
Set in 1994, so
Mhm.
horribly low tech compared to what you're used to.
That's fair.
So it's with your suggesting that, and so like at that point, Black Mask kind of like throws out his hands. He's like, "You expect us to wait here and do what?"
Entertain the people.
Are all of you well enough at this point to move? I was making sure that none of you would sustain lasting damage from the traversal.
So they all start looking around and kind of doing like rolling neck and shoulder checks and just making sure that everybody feels physically fit and whatnot. And it's like he looks around, he says, "It looks like everybody's fine, with the exception of being a little queasy from whatever it was that we just went through."
All right. Excellent. In that case, then, we can all make it to the Aegis Foundation building. They are a company that actually hires superpowered beings for security procedures. We have a working relationship with them. They should be able to tell us what's happened since we've been gone.
Can we teleport everybody, or should some of us?
Yeah, no, she can teleport
Right.
everyone.
Oh, not that many.
You don't think she could take all of them?
100% you can. And
How many is there?
in total? So there's
Mhm.
there's
Yeah.
U5 or there's U6. Then there is
6 more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 more.
Holy cow.
She can do it in two. She can do it in 2 trips.
So what, since you guys are discussing this, what Grace recommends is you take her with you to wherever it is that you're going. And since Grace knows here and wherever it is that you're going, she can identify. She could just open up a teleportation diamond to let everybody walk through.
Do you want us to go? Were we planning on bringing everyone to the vein?
No.
We need to at least head to Aegis Foundation. They may be able to provide extra assistance to everyone else here. But since we can't reach mainframe, that's concerning. We need to know what happened.
Would you like to have Sean drop me off outside? We would not be able to teleport inside the vein normally because we cannot contact to bypass the security parameters.
Correct.
Would you like to have her drop me outside the perimeter, and with my mimicking ability, I can be much less obvious in the event that there is somebody occupying the vein?
You would be on your own. We've learned that lesson in Argentina. I won't send you on your own in that regard. We should all actually arrive at the same time, just in case we need to handle something as a team. Don't want any of us to be taken by surprise, especially with what we've gone through.
Are we going to bring Billy with us?
I believe it makes sense as long as Billy is willing. as he looks to Billy.
You see Billy has this confused look on his face. He's like, where the hell else am I going to go?
Excellent.
I have no home. I am homeless.
I mean, do we call you nephew?
You could call me Billy, but sure. I mean, nephew works, I guess, in
Maybe
the strangest of ways.
maybe we should just call him Billy.
Was he related to us?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Interdimensionally.
Interdimensionally related, yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Lightbringer is his sister aunt.
Sister aunt? Wow, that got creepy fast.
Yep.
You're telling me.
We swear it's not weird.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay,
Interdimensionally
so
speaking.
she will teleport everyone and Grace and Billy to Aegis.
Okay, so when you say Aegis, are you targeting one of their meeting rooms? Because you know
Yes.
that would be a problem. Or are you
we-
targeting their roof?
No, we'll target the roof.
Yeah, we should definitely walk in the traditional way.
Okay.
I mean, I can teleport us right to the front door.
Which, if you want to do that, you can as well.
Yeah, so I'll do that. Front door.
Bamf.
Okay, so you are down in the open halls of this building all of a sudden. And Grace is like looking around and she, you know, for a moment she says, you operate out of a office building?
Not us, but this particular agency does. We have a working relationship with Aegis Foundation.
Very well.
Does it still look like the Aegis building?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's not like the Aegis Foundation is gone.
No.
And Nene is behind the desk.
Not in the hallway you're at, no, because you're downstairs. You have to take the elevator up, and so I mean, the security guards down there are like, like coffee goes everywhere as you guys just like materialize, you know, in his lobby, freaking him out. And then at that point, Grace motions, and you know, a teleportation diamond opens up, and then the others start like, you know, quietly walking through, filing through, and at this point, he's just like, oh my gosh. It's a superhero convention.
Sorry.
And he's just like,
Oh.
All right. So then making our way to, you know, the main offices, wherever Nene would be, especially if
Come in, you royal
Hey,
bull.
able to
Nene.
be here.
So you slowly take the elevator up, getting, you know, everybody, you know, up to the floor that Aegis has taken over, respectively, and as everybody starts coming out, you know, of the elevator, the people behind the check-in counter, or security counter, I should say. You know, at this point, they're alarmed, like they're starting to draw their weapons as they're seeing like all of these costumed people just show up, you know, in their prime, you know, lobby and whatnot. Just like, holy crap. And one of them, you know, recognizes you guys, and there's like, friends of yours? Like, you know, with a hopeful look.
Yes.
Yes.
Old friends. It's a long story.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I'm ringing the boss, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, and so he kind of like fumbles with the, you know, with a PA at the front desk, and he's just like, Mr. Danvers, somebody to see you. Lots of somebodies. And then, you know, hangs up at that point. And eventually, you know, a small crowd of Aegis agents come walking out. They're in, you know, full uniform. The Aegis Foundation in this game is kind of similar to S.H.I.E.L.D., but they do not work for a central government body. They're actually private security.
So do they see Nene?
No, Nene's not here at this point. Nene works she doesn't work the front desk. Nene typically works as the operator. Yeah, she's dispatch.
Yeah.
And, you know, Michael Danvers is, he's got blonde hair, short blonde hair, very muscular looking build. He's actually in a suit and tie right now currently. And he's like looking around. He's like, so you're gone for months and you come back with a gaggle of more people.
Refugees.
Yes.
Refugees. And Thor, like at that comment, like bristles at being called a refugee, and Fathom actually nudge like hits him in the side, and he just kind of goes like and looking down at her, and she just kind of scowls at him, trying to keep him in line. And he says, "Refugees. Okay, so everybody should follow me. We'll take you inside. There's a process, obviously, if you have weapons, and that in and of itself is like a whole ordeal. We won't fully get into it, but Thor obviously is not going anywhere without Mjolnir, so he obviously has to have some sort of an exception. Armor has to tell them that he can't take off the armor. He is the living weapon, so there is nothing he can do about taking it off or getting rid of it. There's a little bit of back and forth, obviously, with that, but eventually everybody comes back in, and they basically take everybody and everybody else and let them sit in a giant conference room and start bringing in glasses of water, company donuts, something to snack on, or whatever have you, just something to kind of occupy their time. And they turn on one of the TVs.
Sean's taken 2.
Okay.
He hasn't had a donut in a while.
So when Danvers is pulling everybody, or I should say the legacy aside, are you taking Billy with you?
Yes.
Yeah, we might as well.
Okay.
Yay!
So
are we gonna explain to Mr. Danvers first?
Yeah.
Or are we gonna excuse ourselves and say we'll be back in shortly?
I'm family.
We need to talk to Mr. Danvers first to let him know what's going on with everybody.
Also, Carmen will take Billy aside and when it's private and just say, just so you know, our identities here are not public, and neither is our familial relation. So you'll want to be careful who you talk about that with.
That's fair. Okay. I should probably come up with a new name like yesterday.
Well,
that would be an odd name.
So as you guys
you're that guy. All right.
So as you guys are kind of debating back and forth, Mr. Danvers actually takes you into a different room, a smaller meeting room where with everybody there, and he says, "Okay, I'm expecting that there's probably a big story here, considering you guys have been missing like 4.5 months."
Exactly. So of course you recall the incident with the beings and portals that appeared a few months in the center of Strongford near the Shadestone building.
Right. We've actually been working security for that ever since.
Is it still active?
No. To the best of our knowledge, it is not. But the government put it on lockdown, and they're not taking any chances. The best that I can assume is that there may have been some radiation or maybe potential other high tech that they haven't vetted, so they don't want anybody going in at this point. So Aegis and Hoplite are currently protecting the area.
Do you know how many people are missing?
I do not.
So with regard to that, what happened there seems to have been portals that were inadvertently created by a Shadestone machine in the Shadestone building, allowed for an entity that mimics a different reality to pierce our reality and start to absorb material and others. We were absorbed into said reality. This apparently has happened to other realities where there are other Earths. That's where the rest of the super-powered beings here come from. Different dimensions.
Wow.
Where different things have happened. Their worlds were destroyed just before they were able to be absorbed into this pseudo-reality being that we were all then trapped in. It took us for what we felt like approximately a week and a half to develop a machine for all of us to finally escape back here. But apparently there's been a significant time dilation. Instead of 1.5 weeks, it's been over 4 months.
I'm going to step
Okay.
out and make this phone call real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. So he says, so clearly you need some updating, it sounds like.
Yes, as well as any assistance that these fine individuals in the other room can have, since they are technically now all refugees. They are heroes without a home.
All right, well, one thing at a time, I guess. We'll have to... it's the least weirdest thing I think I've heard so far. So we'll probably need to get in contact with the United States government to find some way to repatriate them somewhere within the world, provided that's what they want. Okay.
Some of them come from very, very different realities, so they'll need quite a bit of climatization.
And some of them have come from different technology knowledge.
Okay, well, that might be helpful later. But, I mean, yeah, I guess we're going to have to figure out some commonalities and I guess maybe some sort of like welcome to Earth package or something. I don't know. But, all right, so aliens are real.
We knew that.
But Earth didn't.
Oh,
So
right.
what happened?
So the United Nations eventually made an announcement through the United States, and they have, I guess, tipped everybody off that there is some sort of alien vessel floating around outside in space, which has obviously caused many of the nations to go on alert.
Whose is it?
We don't know. I'm not in those circles. I'm getting what information I'm getting at this point from regular media.
How long has the world been aware of this vessel?
This actually just happened last month.
Let's see.
I would imagine the United States government knows more, but they're being very careful with those results. Obviously, you were proclaimed MIA at this point because of your disappearance. And because of the duration of that disappearance, apparently the world now knows that Lightbringer is related to Reichshield.
Yeah.
I could have used a heads up there, but again, we don't poke into your secret identities. But let's just say that didn't go over all that well. Depending on where you're at.
So what should we expect?
Right now, I don't know. But the fact that you're all back, I would imagine the United States government's probably going to come knocking at some point because you may be viewed as a security risk. So you may want to start tapping any contacts that you have in the government. Give them a heads up and get in front of it.
Perhaps we could
Understood.
get a hold of the senator.
As well as the ambassador.
Yes.
Outside of that, as you've already been told, downtown Strongford has been, or that section has actually been locked down. So nobody's been going in or out with the exception of anyone with the proper security clearance. This did a number on Shadestone. However, some members of the independent media have managed to make some waves indicating that Shadestone had some sort of dealings with the United States government. Which you can imagine they've been quick to, not confirm or deny or give much in the way of anything, but what they've been accused of has been kind of heinous.
And what has happened to Quantum Unlimited?
Quantum Unlimited. It went through a period of flux, for lack of a better term. Much of the operating equipment went missing, and we have no idea why exactly that happened. It looked like it was the powers division specifically. No other systems were affected. So we didn't release any information, and we didn't take this to the police since we're the security guards. The hope was that we would eventually find you and try to find out what happened. So that particular part of the company has kind of been mothballed for the time being. That happened about 2 months ago.
Let's see. Well, with that said, we do have a means of trying to prevent whatever it was exactly that happened in Strongford, as long as we're able to get materials. That is unclear if that being that took us would try to reemerge in our reality. We'll do what we can in the meantime. The rest of us will need to head back to our headquarters to see what's happened in the past 4 months, but is there anything else we should know about the world? Have any actions been taken towards these aliens, or have they made any contact?
No, none as of yet. And one of the reasons why your identity got flushed, Lightbringer, or at least Lightbringer being tied to Reichshield, is because the Baltic nations and the Russian Federation are close to the brink of war.
Do they think the Russians are behind our disappearance?
That I'm not too sure about. There is a long history with Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia, and now, of course, New Prussia, having
Right.
their own respective issues with the Russian Federation.
Of course.
The latter three having been former Soviet satellite nations, and they have their own grievances dating back to election tampering, attempted coups, and so on and so forth. I think, on a personal level, this is likely a little bit more tied to their alliance with New Prussia. But Russia has not been. Russia has been a wounded bear as of the past couple of months, and they have been saber rattling quite a bit.
Okay. Is there anything else that we should know before we go poking around?
None that I can think of as of yet, but this spike or device or whatever it is that you're talking about, if you can get those technical specs to my people, we will coordinate with Alpine Technologies to get something like that created post haste while you are working on whatever else that you've got going. And I will ensure that the right people slip it behind the security lines at that old Shadestone building to get it in place.
Excellent.
I don't see the need to tell the government or ask the government's permission. I would rather seek their forgiveness in this particular case.
Noted. Then we'll explain that to the rest of our compatriots in the other room, make sure all that's coordinated. And I take it then you and your team here will be able to at least provide some assistance with their refugee status?
We can get to work on that. I don't know to what extent we'll be able to assist, but it's not like we are unfamiliar, with dealing with refugees.
If we need to be present in order to vouch for any of their characters, anything of that nature, don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Of course.
All right.
Are you sure we can't take Megalith with us?
I think he's going to need to help the others. They have all been together far longer than we've been with them.
I'm sure we'll catch up with him another time.
Yeah, it won't be hard to miss him.
Good point.
Are we sure that nothing followed us through?
Anything that would have landed with us.
We hope.
Yeah, because when we went through, I don't know if anything would have shifted and they landed somewhere else if they came through. I don't know.
The
The
odds of
timing. sorry, the timing would have had to. I would think the timing would have had to have been spectacular. I don't know how long a portal like that would have stayed open after the fact, but considering the fact that if any of you moved, the coordinates could have been thrown off. If anybody did make it through behind you, they didn't necessarily land where we were. It's possible they wouldn't have landed where we were.
Precisely. The odds are staggering that they would be in the exact same time in the exact same place. We know they didn't land in the same place. They could have been moved to a different time period or a different reality if anything came through. Did anyone see anyone behind us? I was able to see that the portal did close, but I didn't see any other individuals.
I wasn't watching.
I didn't
Oh,
notice it.
you actually saw the portal close.
Since we were the last ones through, it did
Okay.
close behind us, but
Okay.
be that as it may, hopefully nothing else was left behind. But with that said, we do need to handle what we came here to handle. Let's make sure the rest of the group knows what's happening and they can coordinate with Aegis with the transtemporal spike.
We should probably also give them some contact information in case they need to reach us.
Exactly.
Maybe Black Mass, since he seems to be their unofficial leader.
I agree. So Hyperion's headed into the other conference room with the rest of the supers.
Okay.
And he goes ahead and walks up to Black Mass specifically and says, the Aegis Foundation and Mr. Danvers, who we were speaking with, are going to work on coordinating efforts on helping the rest of you at least get your semblance of lives back on solid footing here. And at the same time, as far as the plans for the transtemporal spike, whatever we have been able to gather, they should be able to assist in creating it, place it where it needs to be.
Very well, then we will coordinate with this Aegis Foundation to ensure that temporal spike, transtemporal spike, is in place and the sanctity of this Earth Prime is locked and secure.
Excellent. And I assume there's like, since we're in a conference room, is there like a pen and like a notepad with sticky notes on it? Okay. So he goes over, gets a pen, notepad. He writes down a phone number, and he hands that to him. You can contact me specifically and Legacy indirectly at this number when you need us. We're going to do what we can to determine what's happened with our base and see if we can come back into contact with you as soon as possible to help with everything that needs help with.
Very well, and he extends his hand to you. He says, I think it goes without saying, but thank you for everything.
Of course. It's been a pleasure. Shakes and then looks to Shone. We now need to head to the outside of our base.
She'll
ready?
wave at Megalith before they zip out.
So he's kind of flips a nod and points and waves.
Yeah.
And poof.
Okay, so you guys are teleport down to the
Landing bay.
Well, not the landing bay. You guys actually teleport down to the abandoned gas station that's at the foot. It's at the foot of the mountain.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay.
You'll have to take the secret entrance in.
Yeah, exactly. So we go ahead and do that. And show Billy, of course, how that works, making sure he's aware of how we get in through this way.
Okay. Yeah, basically, this is the marker here, of course, is an abandoned gas station that was out on the outskirts of this big city. The mountain where they walk. There was a road at one point in time that may have gone around the base of the mountain, but it's all abandoned, disused, and pretty rough. But they walk forward towards the mountain itself, and a part of it kind of slips to the side and reveals a walk-in entrance.
Not bad.
It belonged to Electrum.
Okay, that tracks.
So as you come in, the systems obviously identify all of you outside of Billy, of course, but he's with you, so there's no alarm.
Okay.
And the elevator just silently kind of hums upward. This is a little bit more your speed, Billy. Not quite the tech level that you're used to, but higher tech than what you've seen so far.
Look, Billy was just tripping out when he grabbed a pencil and a pad of paper. Okay.
Yep.
It's like, wow, my grandpa showed me those.
Yeah.
And as you, as the elevator,
It's like Scotty from what was it?
Oh yeah, the voice.
Yes.
Yeah, the voice, and he's like,
Keyboard. How
"Oh,
quaint.
how quaint! Computer."
computer. So you exit the elevator at this point. Most of the lights are out. It's just got running lights in here. It doesn't, obviously it's cold and quiet, nothing going on.
Okay. Then Hyperion will go up to the main computer bay and see if he can figure out what's happened.
Okay. So the main system boots up like it normally would, and there's no interactivity to it. It's just it turns on and it's ready for whatever command you need to insert.
Then I say out loud, "Mainframe, are you active?"
Just a quiet echo throughout the once empty place.
Do you think something could have happened to mainframe?
And you'll see Hyperion seems like he's actually worried, and he's, instead of responding, he's now kind of quickly typing in commands to see if he can find out what's happened to mainframe, if anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
shouldn't there be some kind of like a history of output with the computer?
Exion,
Computer logs. Okay.
Yes.
we should go and see if your ship is here. Why they try to figure out what's wrong with mainframe.
Oh, that's not hard. I mean, you turn from that area and you can look on the pad. I mean, it's all open air in here. Yeah, ship's still there.
I will. I'm gonna go to the ship anyway. I can see if because of the ship's interface with mainframe, I can possibly type in and get information from my ship.
You're going to need to pull your microphone down.
From when contact was lost. Like basic. I mean, with today's terminology, it's like looking up and checking records when the Wi-Fi or when the Bluetooth was disconnected. You know, kind of type. I mean, for lack of a better understanding, but that's today's terminology. But it'd be something similar because mainframe had essentially, you know, Bluetooth contact with my ship. Yeah.
Yep.
So
as you guys search the computers respectively and search the communication log to your ship, you find they all collate to the same time frame, and it was a week after your disappearance.
So is he hibernating?
like, was it exactly like we left? We disappeared in the afternoon, and it was like 7 days to. I mean, we probably don't know like to the minute necessarily, but it's it's to the minute.
But all of them were at the same time. Like all the logs coincide with one another. You know, all of them showed the same time frame. There was a disconnect at the exact same time frame, 7 days after you guys left.
And has my ship been dormant the whole time since?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we tell why things shut down? Like, we see when they did, but is there a reason for that?
Why don't you give me a reason check?
Or see something if it was something authorized it, because that could I do the same thing?
Not from your ship.
Not from my ship. No.
Should I call Should I call Mrs. McCall?
Not yet. We have to see
How
what's
many
happening.
how many phones do we have in this place? Just
Just the one.
Okay.
Would the computer operation talent give me a column shift?
Yes,
for
it
this?
would.
Sweet. Okay. Green feed.
Okay. So you've done everything you can as far as command searches and software checks and whatnot. It doesn't look like there's any lack of functionality there outside of the fact that it's not mainframe. So when you open up the system, you can see the brain essentially that was inside the system is gone.
Perhaps Miss McCall took him?
She is
make
the
any
only
sense.
one. She is the only one that had access.
Is there a log that says who, if anyone, has been in and out of here?
Actually, there is. The only logs that are provided, obviously, at that point from the week that you guys went missing, is Sagan, and then obviously that was it.
Wait. Mainframe. Did I miss something, or mainframe was a brain in? Did I misunderstand something?
It is not a
Uh,
organic.
Metaphorical.
Yes.
Mainframe is an artificial intelligence, machine intelligence that I developed that was an integral part of our actual mainframe computer system here in the vein. He had software and physical components, and his physical components have been removed. Can I tell if it was like ripped out or like unplugged?
Great question. Everything was skillfully disconnected.
Okay.
So your
Sagan,
mainframe.
Sagan was the last one here?
Correct. And the access log to the place looks like she's come back like once or twice after, there's no log from the mainframe computer. But
Meriden
that's it.
or Sagan?
Sagan.
Sa-
Sagan.
Then we need to contact
When was
Sagan.
it?
with your grandfather.
Right. That's. I was going to do that next. When was the last time that she was in and out?
3.5 months ago.
Okay. I'm gonna use the phone and call Michelle.
Okay.
Am I-
Okay.
So I just want to be really clear that your mainframe did not have a physical body that he could just
Right.
walk around wherever he felt like.
We hadn't
No.
made one for him yet. We had even discussed that, but one wasn't made for him specifically yet.
That's different.
Compared to your reality, yes, I understand. That was completely different, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the phone at your apartment picks up. Hello,
Michelle?
Carmen? Where the hell have you been?
Hey, long story. Are you okay? Is the apartment okay?
Yeah, no. I'm fine. They've got us on what is it? Like a temporary leave or something because something happened at Quantum Unlimited. They're
Okay.
kind of being really tight-lipped about it, but I'm being paid, so I'm not really.
Okay,
you
that's
know.
good.
The apartment's fine. Where the hell are you?
Is Sagan around?
No, I haven't seen your bodyguard in a couple months.
Okay. Look, I've been off world, you could say, and
Okay.
I've got a lot of stuff to catch up on. I'm just kind of getting feel for what's happened since I've been gone. Okay, so
Oh,
I'll contact you again later.
you didn't
Once
have
I
like
know-
a falling out with Sagan or something, did you?
No, she.
Because the last time I saw her, she was really mad.
Yeah, I can imagine. You know what? Let me get back to you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Glad you're okay. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
And then she will hang up and look to everybody else and say, should we call Meredith first, or should I call my grandfather?
Let's contact Meredith first, especially since your relationship with your grandfather is now known throughout the world. We need to be careful about that more than ever. It might even be necessary for us to, sooner rather than later, reveal who we are as well. We need to know what's happened, where everything is, where Mainframe has been taken. He didn't do this himself. Someone did it with him. And he either coordinated that with someone, or it's been done to him against his will.
I want to know how much Sagan had to do with it. I think it would be good to at least tell them that we're okay, that we're back, and that we'll get back to them later. But if you think it's more prudent to call Meredith first, then
Would Sagan have taken Mainframe as a precautionary measure to protect Mainframe?
I don't know.
Doesn't seem
Or-
like there would be a need to do that.
I
No.
think
I
new Prussian technology is far superior, so I don't know why she would have taken him, except maybe as an extension of us.
Does new Prussian technology include an advanced artificial intelligence? Per your knowledge.
I'm not sure.
It's likely if it did contain it, they would have demonstrated that to you with your time there in New Prussia.
Jerome, I don't
It is.
remember any AI. Everyone I encountered was like a person. Okay.
Yeah, no AI.
Okay.
I can't help but feel kind of violated.
Understandable.
And Joan's going to walk away and head towards her quarters to see if her stuff is still there.
And
Yeah, quarters are where as you left it. There's nothing else that's been messed with. It doesn't look like anybody's come through here and rummaged through anything. It's like somebody turned off the lights and that was it.
I'm going to hand the phone over to Hyperion.
And Hyperion takes it. He goes ahead and calls up the New Haven Institute.
Okay. So you get a gruff voice that answers, "Hey, yo, what?"
Hello, this is Hyperion from the Legacy, trying to reach either Ms. McCall or Joe Higgins.
Ha! Yeah, good try. And you hear him say, "It's another crank caller," as he hangs up.
Immediately call back.
Okay. And he picks up, "What? We don't want any."
I didn't say I was going to provide you with anything. I desperately need to speak to those individuals. I understand you're aware that the Legacy disappeared. We have just come back from our adventure. We need to speak to those in charge of the New Haven Institute. Please.
So you hear like the phone get covered up in some muffled like, "Salesman super insistent. Should I just hang up?" And you hear this, "Just give it to me." And then another like a female voice, pick it up. "Hello, who is this?"
This is Hyperion of the Legacy, trying to reach either Miss
And then you
McCall
hear,
or Joe
"What?
Higgins."
Ow! Dumbass! This is supposed to be Hyperion. He's asking for Miss McCall. It's like, well, how should I know? Could have been like a Jehovah's Witness or something. They don't call by phone. And so she says, "I just hold on a second. Hold on."
Thank you.
And you can hear like some walking around or whatnot. And then the phone the phone is given to somebody, and it's Miss McCall's voice.
Ms. McCall, this is Hyperion.
Hyperion? When
Yes.
the hell did you get back? Where did you go?
I'll try to make it as simple as possible since the story is complicated.
Wait, I'm there. We're not doing this over the phone.
Understandable.
I think I know where you're at. I'll be there in an hour. Is everybody there?
Yes, including another, which we'll explain when you arrive.
I'm going to kill him. I find him. I'm going to kill him. And she hangs up.
Ask her if I can call my grandfather.
So she's already hung up, but then
She actually hung up.
Okay, never mind.
yeah, but then like hearing that from Hyperion will turn and go. She will be here in an hour. She'll discuss everything with us. I'd say we wait until then. She has the most experience with handling political intrigue and drama and what have you from her experience.
I'm really hoping she has mainframe.
Okay, I guess it can wait an hour. Well, should we show Billy around?
Yes, definitely. It shouldn't take too long. Billy, if you'll walk with us, we'll show you where everything is.
Yeah, and you even get your own room.
Woo!
Sounds
good.
It's pretty Spartan. It wasn't designed for multiple people, so they kind of keep parsing off a section for bunk beds and whatnot. So, but it's a place to lay your head.
Is it
And
possible?
out of
Sorry,
character,
go
as we're walking through, it's like, and this used to be my room, and I point to a 5-gallon bucket.
And then she grew it.
All right.
But now that I can't manipulate myself, I can't. No.
Yeah.
Would your mainframe for any reason have requested to be removed from this place, considering that you guys have been gone for 3 months, 4 months? I don't know how many months you guys have been gone. Well, actually, if it was summer when you left, it's closer to 6 months, isn't it? Maybe 5 or 6 months.
4.5.
It was the end of the of summer.
End of summer. Okay. I mean, is it possible that he was relocated or it was relocated for non-malicious means or reasons?
He did have the ability to communicate to virtually anyone he needed to. Therefore, that is a possibility. He was disconnected correctly without being ripped, and it seems that great care was taken to make sure of that.
Right.
Therefore, he either gave instructions or someone who knew what they were doing did that. However, whoever came here would have needed to bypass the security procedures that were in the vein.
Right, so that way to leave Miss McCall and Sagan.
Unless mainframe let them in?
Mainframe would not let anyone in. And
I'm just spitballing here, man.
Truth be told, we have left out the one other option of who stands a chance of acquiring access and even knowing what to do with mainframe.
Who?
Our father.
You really think
is not-
Electrum came back?
It is not out of the realm of possibilities. His
True.
death has not been confirmed. Though unlikely, it is a possibility. But I am, unfortunately or fortunately, I am leaning towards Sagan. But that is a possibility of our father being the one.
Now that you mention it, I wonder if we can deduce from any press releases what alien ship it is that's in orbit right now.
Well, isn't it the same alien ship that has been there this entire time?
Likely it's the Devaxian vessel that's been cloaked in orbit, the one that even New Prussia was aware of. It's simply that very few individuals had the technological know-how to even realize it was there, New Prussia and us being the only ones that I knew of. Fortunately, that hasn't sparked any widespread panic or
You know,
it seems.
they did catch that Tabaxian on the coming in from the Russian border, and he
Mhm.
spoke Russian, so it stands to reason that he had dealings with some Russian people. So perhaps the Russians knew about it as well.
Something else we'll need to determine. Clearly, much has happened. We need to play a game of catch-up.
Well, we definitely need to figure out what we are going to tell the world where our alter egos have been for the last 4 months as well.
Well, some of us.
So with that thought, you've been given the tour of the base, Billy. I can actually repost the map that we're using for it, but essentially it's kind of like a high tech layer sort of setup. Most of it's open air, like the main area where they conference and have their computer. You can turn around and see the launch pad or landing pad. There's an alien vessel up there, which you can. If somebody wants to repost some of those pictures, they're in the chat from earlier on, in the Facebook chat.
Is it a black and white drawing?
Yeah.
Okay, I think
It's
I'm looking
black
at it.
and blue, I think.
Oh, then maybe I'm not. Never mind.
It could have been black and white, but anyways,
yeah, the vein. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Essentially, part of the rocky interior, there's actually a vein of electrum that's in there.
Okay.
Hence the name that the reason why it's here, and so on and so forth. So, eventually, you guys see some sort of ship coming into the landing bay. The doors automatically opening, and it's the ship that used to be here.
Nice.
Which that picture is actually also in the chat. So it's got its wings are retracting a little bit, and it's hovering in VTOL wise to land.
Sean's going. Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. Sorry.
Nope.
Go ahead.
And the bay door starts dropping down, and a woman, middle-aged, probably 50, 55-ish, somewhere around in that range, with silver hair and a business suit comes walking down. Billy, it's your grandma.
Yep. Before she comes down, Sean's gonna lean over to Billy and say, "She could be quite scary."
And she's walking in with a purpose, like walking right down that the gangplank or whatever, basically the ramp that leads back into the into the base, and she walks right up to Hyperion. She's got some paperwork in her hand and smacks him hard upside the head from behind. Just bam!
I told you she's scary.
Was there a reason for the attack, Miss McCall?
She said, and then she takes a moment. She pauses. She's still furious, but she gives like an angry, brief hug. Like she's still mad, but she recognizes that she's mad, so she's had time to work on this clearly. And then she says that she's still furious and stomps her heel down, and she's like, "You idiots! Why in the world would you have advanced conversations about war crimes around a developing AI?"
What?
You have mainframe?
She says no. She says, the only reason why I know this is because out of desperation, I received a call from somebody by the name of Sagan, who I think is related to you, Lightbringer, telling me that he got it in his head that he needed to punish war criminals because apparently the legacy wasn't doing enough.
Oh, great.
I'm sure there's other details in there that I missed that she told me. She had a lot to say, but she was adamant that she was trying to stop him from doing whatever it is he was doing, and then nothing. And the only other piece of information that I found out is because Midnight X has apparently been working for him. Using, and she smacks Hyperion again, your money!
Is this how Billy would remember her from his dimension?
When she wanted to get a point across from to Electrum, yes.
Okay. So Billy's just smirking because he's not the target.
Wait, how is he doing this? He's not in the computer anymore.
And she turns and she looks and she's like, of course he's not. He's sentient and out on his own somewhere.
How? In what?
Someone helped him.
I have no idea. Sagan, whoever this person is, may have those details. I don't know. All I know is apparently Midnight X got paid for a couple of high-priced hits, and then when he realized something was going on, he phoned me, and I told him no, that had nothing to do with me, and then he backed off.
You need to call Sagan.
Oh.
Well, she's not here, and you told me to wait to call me Prussia.
Yes.
I think it's time.
And she's like, she pauses a second. She says, normally I would say no, and you're being very stupid, Lightbringer, but under the circumstances, probably a good idea.
So, nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see. Who's Smirky McSmirk over in the corner with the weird hairdo?
Miss McCall, allow me to introduce Billy. He is from an alternate reality, which we just recently escaped from, along with other supers.
Not his, another
great
reality. It's you. You're just like I remember you, and he just keeps smiling.
So she's like looking around, and she says, "Okay," and then she pulls Hyperion by the ear, and leans him down. She says, "Why am I supposed to know him?"
It's not that you specifically know him, but the version of you from his reality was related to him. Apparently, the version of you from his reality had an actual relationship with the version of Electrum in that reality. Had children who are Billy's parents. So in a way, the you in that reality was his grandmother.
Hi, Mima.
So she's stunted for a second. She says, "You mean to tell me in another dimension he had another black book?"
As far as I could tell, his actions were different in different dimensions. Most of us acted differently, and some of us in different dimensions are actually on the opposite side of the law. There's an infinite number of realities.
Can I throw something out here? My world
If you
is
call me
gone.
Mima one more time, bullet through the heart.
That's fair. Totally fair.
Now Carmen's smirking.
And so she takes a moment. She's like, "Okay."
So consider this. My world is gone. As far as I know, it's ash floating in space. I don't know what that means for my dimension's mainframe. If your mainframe is now up and walking around, I'm wondering where that body came from, and is it possible that it was somehow lifted by someone who might be able to jump dimensions and donated here.
Exion is
That's speculative.
Oh,
has
it's wildly speculative.
has hypothesized that
I believe trying to
Electrum.
contact Sagan would be the next most logical course of action. She had access here, at least a small degree. Therefore, Lightbringer, do you have the ability to contact her?
Jerome, does she have a phone number? Where I
No.
can reach her?
No, you guys were patched through her comm link.
That's what I thought. I don't have a separate contact for her. She was just on the comms.
And just a
Then
quick check,
essentially-
everybody can see everybody in the chat room now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, because I didn't know if you guys could hear me before because nobody was responding.
So should I or should I not call Jurgen?
What are the chances that Electrum came back?
There's no possible way to calculate that.
She's asking Miss McCall. She's looking right at.
Yeah. So
the
she just says,
scary
what
one.
your brother said. And then she takes another moment and just like, she's like, okay. What your brother said.
How about Nana?
And she visibly starts to draw a pistol.
Got it.
Jokes are a bad idea, Billy, just to make that painfully clear.
I know.
This means then the only means to contact would be if you were to call Jurgen, and with everything that's happened so far, it seems that that's now necessary. Can you contact him?
I hope so. Should I do it here or?
Yeah. So Meredith is at that point, like looking back and forth. She says, haven't you used a secured line?
I mean, like, should I do it in private? Or should I do it here with everyone listening?
She says, dear, if there's something private that you want to speak about, then maybe you should drag the phone into another room, I guess. I don't think anybody here is going to be upset if you start crying over the phone or have some heart-to-heart with that man.
Okay. So she will take the phone and dial it.
Okay, so as you do that and you dial the number, she walks over to the phone and flips a switch that looked like a light switch before. And now you realize, yeah, that's probably the old school version of securing the line. And then, the phone rings and you hear, this is the New Prussian Embassy.
Is it a voice that I know?
No. It sounds like it's probably some relay service or something, that they have at their embassy there in Coensburg.
I can't just ask to speak to the president. Does he have like a secretary?
He actually does.
Is it that one guy?
Yep.
Shoot, what was his name?
Dig through your notes.
Yeah, Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to actually go back to the time when I went there.
Davy Jones is all Alan Summerby.
No. Okay, well, I'm gonna tell them the name and ask if I could be, or I guess if I could be patched through to the president's office, perhaps to so and so. Insert name here.
So you don't have the, so you're going to have to say the president's office at this point if you're drawing a blank on the name.
Okay, it's gonna take me a long time to get through my notes.
Sure. No, I get it. So she says, and
Dude with no eyes, but I don't say that.
that's a great. Yeah, I was going to say it's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So she says, and actually, now that I think about it, a great way that you might be able to find this information out is if you take a moment to actually access our handy dandy link for the Modern Age Heroes game, which was recently updated to include all the NPCs that have appeared so far in New Prussia.
Oh.
Wow.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Say
Even
no
the
more.
ones just in chat.
Even the ones just in chat,
Wow.
including new artwork for President Jurgen, as well as Guardian and Protector.
Very cool.
Let me go ahead and post that link there in the chat. Oh yeah, Davy Jones did it too, so we both posted the link. There you go.
Very nice.
So if you'd like to take a moment real quick to go find that, because it sounds like you're doing it. If you need to click on it specifically, you'll click the link titled The Black Guard. It's on the main page.
Where did you repost the link at?
It's in the actual Twitch chat.
Oh, it's in the Twitch chat. Okay.
Yep. I just posted in the Facebook chat there for you guys.
That's not the one. No, he's not on this list.
Oh, he is. I know, because
Okay.
when I updated, I specifically put him on there. But nevertheless, are the films on a different link here? No, there they are. Okay. Okay, so at that point,
There he is. He's. I was looking under the NPCs, not under the teams.
Right.
Okay, Tarius. His name is Tarius.
There you go. Good job. And Davy Jones just put that up there too. Tarius.
Oh, I got it backwards. Has eyes but no face.
Right.
I was thinking he had a face but no eyes.
So she says, and whom I ask is calling?
Lightbringer.
And she says, hold one moment, please. And then you hear that all familiar na 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 na. Apparently, they use the same hold music in New Prussia as Aegis does here in the States.
They must use the same Muzak service.
Yep. The same Kenny G track.
Oh God.
And
It's universal.
You end up hearing a robotic voice come over the phone. Hello, this is Tarius.
Hi, Tarius. Is Jurgen available to take my call?
He says, I apologize. I must use this relay service for my ability to discuss or to speak openly with you requires telepathy, and you are currently out of range.
Of course.
Your grandfather is currently unavailable, but if it is an emergency, I can put through a patch.
Can you take a message for me?
Of course.
Tell him I'm back in this reality and I'm okay, and so is my team, and we're catching up on things that happened in our absence. So I will contact him again. End message. But do you know the whereabouts of Lieutenant Sagan?
Affirmative. Lieutenant Sagan has returned to her role currently in the Science Police.
Is she available to take my call?
I could see. Could you hold for one moment?
Yes, please.
So then he puts on some other music, hold music for time being. And then you hear some like clicking through as the line is being, manually connected differently over. And then when the phone picks up, it's quite busy, in the background. Like it's sound quality is a little bit off because there's ambient noise in the background, discussions from people in the office or whatever have you. This is Lieutenant Sagan.
Hey, Sagan, it's Carmen.
Carmen?
I know it's been a while. Are you okay? Is everything okay with you?
Am I okay, ma'am? Are you okay? You've been missing for months.
Yeah, it's apparently time passed differently where we were. It was only about a week and a half for us.
Time display. Okay. Time display. Whatever. So, did the rest of the team make it back?
Yeah, we're all here. We're all okay. It just took a little, doing to put our heads together to get back. Look, we're catching up on everything. We noticed. Are you in a place where we can speak?
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Let me patch this over to my personal phone, and then I'll take this outside.
Okay.
Which, if you recall, that was one of the things you worked on.
Oh.
And so there's another click over, and now the background noise is gone, but there's a solid sound of like, kind of like a low hiss because she's outside somewhere. And she says, "Yeah, ma'am, do you have any idea what I went through when your group left?"
I can only imagine. I am so sorry.
Permission to rant.
Please.
She says, "I don't know specifically why he got this wild hair up his robotic backside, but I know where it came from. And I swear I'm going to punch the angler until he's blue in the face. You know all those rants that I was getting upset about his, feelings towards New Prussia and the Nazi angle and how bad President Jurgen was and whatnot? Do you remember that, ma'am?
Yeah.
Guess who Mainframe wanted to target?
Yeah, that's where it's becoming clear.
Oh, it's not quite clear enough. He wanted to go for a target of opportunity first to test his theory. Do you know who he wanted to test it on? Ronald Reagan, ma'am.
What?
Because Ronald Reagan was seen as a war criminal by some over the whole Iraq contraband scandal.
Oh, great. Oh, no.
And so because, I'm sorry, ma'am, I apologize, but because of your ignorant brother and those rants about war crimes, he's now dead set on finding a way to do something about it, as he put it. I was fortunate enough to kind of talk him into some sort of angle where he would at least deal with Russia or something. I don't even know where specifically he's doing it from. I just know I managed to. I don't know. Have you seen Star Wars?
Uh,
I basically managed to, I think, Jedi mind tricked him into believing that Russia was probably a better target. But he was dead set on taking it out on somebody to start a dry run and to ultimately, from what I understand, correct planet Earth.
okay. Here's a question. How is he doing this? How did he get out of the computer?
Oh, that was easy enough. He had access to your other brother's money. Money makes everything talk. So he found somebody out there that had some sort of prototype body that he was able to then retrofit to house the rest of his mind or brain center or whatever it is that houses his AI. I don't know where specific, or I should say, I don't know how exactly he found it, but I know where it came from. Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
It came from Senia.
Oh. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a big oh boy, ma'am, because that set off red flags. When we got news of that, that meant not only are they higher tech than we anticipated, but somehow he managed to circumvent whatever laws are in place to prevent, overt sale of military grade devices, and he brought it here. It was in the vein.
Okay. Do you know where he is now?
I don't. We've been trying to track him, but I don't. Are you familiar with the news? Have you caught up much with anything of what's going on right now, ma'am?
No, we're just getting the pieces. I heard there was some issue between New Prussia and the Baltic states and Russia.
Okay, then. Okay,
I presume that's
you
where.
then you kind of know. Yeah, you kind of know. Okay, remember our guest?
Um, you mean the extraterrestrial one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So come to find out, there was more of them there.
Where?
So the Russian Federation got a big jump in their technology.
Oh, great. Okay. Okay.
All we've been able to figure out is that whoever this alien race is, I guess they call themselves Tavaxians or whatnot, or maybe that was them. All we know is they've had extraterrestrial contact, and it's starting to magnify their military complex. So all of our Baltic allies are now on a constant state of red alert. So that has hampered our ability to monitor the mainframe. We did get rumor that he apparently used some additional funds to put out some hits. I was able to track one of them, and it was a state official in Georgia.
Does he have a name?
Yeah, she provides.
Do you have the name? Okay.
Yeah, she provides a name.
Is there any significance to this person?
He was part of what would the equivalent in the United States be the State Department. So the head. So like he was.
Oh, Georgia, the country.
Yeah, Georgia, the country.
Okay. Okay. Do you has the Tavaxian in custody been of any benefit?
He's been. We seem to think he's been withholding some information for one reason or another, but unfortunately, everything else has been taking priority, dealing with the rise of problems with Russia.
Okay. One other thing. What exactly happened with my identity, what
Oh,
happened?
we think Russian assets leaked it to the American media, and of course, the American media, being what they are, they ran with it.
Okay.
So Lightbringer is known as Jurgen's granddaughter. Nobody seems to have made the connection to your private identity yet, just that your superhero identity is tied to him. Which
Okay.
if it helps, I mean, nobody here cared.
Right. Obviously, everyone there already knew. Okay. I did. Did you get fired or anything?
No, ma'am. I was just recalled because you were all missing, and there was nothing I could do from a lifeless vein.
I'm really sorry that if I got you in any trouble with you
No,
not being
ma'am.
there.
I am not in any trouble. Believe me, I'm not. Your grandfather is just. He's extremely worried. Have you made contact with him yet?
I had Tarius leave a message for him. I couldn't get through. I
Yeah, he's
figured
been.
I'd call him back
If I
another time.
understand correctly, he's been in a lot of war councils and trying to help the Baltic nations prepare for what could be an invasion from Russia.
Okay. Um, we're going to try to get our bearings some more, and I'll call you again.
All right.
I'm
If you need me, just put in the requisition with Terrius. I'm sure he can grease the appropriate wheels, and I can be back soon.
That's good to know. Thanks. I'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, it's good that you're back, ma'am.
Thanks.
Okay, she hangs up.
Okay. So Carmen will relay all of those details so that I don't have to like actually recount everything myself. So it sounds like we need to try to rein in our rogue AI.
So, does that mean that their agents were in our vein? So we've been compromised?
I think it was more well, I don't how would
I mean, how would he get him?
mainframe have been able to physically get into
Right. So,
the
That would
body?
have been relatively easy. Since he is now a rogue agent, he simply would have contacted whoever he needed to, told them exactly where he was, given
so
them whatever security protocols needed, and disabled his own security so that they could then remove him. He would then have simply explained how to remove himself and put him in whichever new body there was, and at that point he then has autonomy.
so the vein has been compromised.
Yes.
Hyperion, since you're along that train of thought, why don't you give me an intuition check?
Okay. Yellow feet.
Okay. So as doom and gloom is setting in, and you're just like, oh God, this is like really terrible.
Yeah.
You now notice that the body, that robotic body that you had taken from Dr. October, is missing.
Yeah. Okay. And so then Hyperion is looking at like an empty corner of the workshop across the hallway, and then without changing his gaze from it, he says, likely they used the robotic body that we were going to use for him, or made the necessary modifications so that it would work for him.
We know the bandwidth in which he operates on, correct?
That would have been based on the technology here in the vein, which he's now not directly connected to. As far as his robot body, it's unclear. Thinking back on it, Jerome, would there be any way to determine, like, if there was a certain frequency he was using or whatever? Because, like, did look through that robot body to, like, pull pieces out. So, like, from that, would he know what his capabilities would be, assuming nothing's been added to the body yet?
Yeah.
Then with that, would we then know, like, an actual signal, like frequency, that we could track for him, theoretically?
For that particular body, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you remember
No.
correctly, you actually had already tracked that because you were concerned that somebody could send a remote signal back to it.
Right. Okay. So with that, then Hyperion will be like, assuming he hasn't made any massive modifications to it, there should be a particular bandwidth range that we can track. Assuming that he's broadcasting on it, of course.
We added a interface into my ship that he was able to manipulate my ship, correct?
Correct.
We need to remove that interface immediately.
I agree. Without saying anything else, Hyperion just gets up and he just starts, like, walking kind of quickly to the vessel so he can work on that.
Same
Okay.
here.
And as he's walking, Hyperion, he's still, like, wearing his armor, of course, but he's going to drop his human appearance so that he, his android appearance is now visible.
Okay.
Yeah. So then he just goes to the ship and starts working on dismantling or modifying that interface as much as possible.
Okay. I'll make you roll in a few. Is there anything else anyone else was going to do?
I'm assisting with that,
Right. Okay.
so whatever.
Sean was tempted to call Brad, but she's holding off.
I found another man. He's much larger than you are. And when I mean that, I mean like twice the size.
I found somebody new, and he's twice the man that you are.
No, literally. Like he's like 8 feet tall.
I would be just talking with Meredith, seeing what else has happened in the last 4 months.
Oh,
How she's doing.
I think Sean would take Billy to go get something to eat so that he doesn't accidentally call her Nana again.
Saving his life, pretty much.
Yes, pretty much.
As a matter of fact, I would, after we do this, I'm going to make it a point to say that I am going to eat, since I have my sustenance here, even though I
right.
don't need to eat. I don't need to eat regularly, but I'm probably hungry at this point.
Oh yeah.
It's probably been
You
about.
threw up.
Yeah, I threw up, and it's been, a week and a half, almost 2 weeks probably since I have eaten. So it's time for me to. I can still survive, but
Sustenance.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have
that'll be prioritized after the ship, though.
So you will find out, Lightbringer, that the Deviant Registration Act that had been on the, the board essentially to try and get passed had actually been shot down during that time frame. So that is not something that's going to go through in the United States. Which that you did find out. So that's obviously helpful. There has been politically speaking, there's been a lot of fallout in Argentina. They've
Okay.
wound up in the World Court and having to deal with like the United Nations quite a bit since that conflict because of the overt presence of actual Nazis.
Has that raised the estimation of New Prussia in the public consciousness?
It has a little bit. Again, it's something that people in the media are obviously resisting because of El Presidente that resides over the country, but with the growing threat of Russia in the world, not since the Cold War have people been this worried again, and it's one of those things that people in the United States, the media is painting it more as a Baltic nations versus Russia, as opposed to it being more of a global conflict.
So they're not feeling connected to that conflict.
Right. It's a way for them to kind of disconnect and say, neighbors are going at it, sort of thing, and or mutant whatever or whatnot.
How is the
Meredith would tell you though that there have, although it's been shot down, like most media groups are not doing anything about it. Mainstream media, people in the intelligence community have now confirmed actual camps that process deviants in Russia. And from what little they have been able to glean, many are starting to be used for cheap labor, as well as experimentation.
Is this similar to how in X-Men the lower ranking or less powerful mutants were starting to be herded up in some places,
Yep.
used as slave labor? So it's basically like that, but the elites, if you will, are the ones that were able to escape that portion and either
that they don't know, but essentially yes,
Right.
that there is that parallel.
Right. Okay.
So Hyperion, go ahead and roll. Xenofreeze, what is your reason? If it's within one rank of Hyperion's, you can actually assist.
Mine's RM30.
Okay, so it is not. I think his is an AM50.
Yeah, that's right.
So you can stand over and watch him, but you don't get a column shift bumped to help him, unfortunately. So go ahead and roll for it, Dale. Green. So
Yay.
you're able to pull that system back out of the alien vessel.
Okay.
Without much of a problem.
Okay. He takes it out, and then he takes it back to the workshop and just kind of unceremoniously just kind of tosses it onto a random bench or something. Just looks at it for a few seconds and then walks back to Ms. McCall, assuming that she's still in the room talking to.
Yeah,
Lightbringer.
she's been here, kind of getting Lightbringer caught up.
Okay. So then he'll just walk up to Ms. McCall and say, at this point, I would like assistance on what you believe we should accomplish next. We have been told by Mr. Danvers that we should get ahead of things with regard to Lightbringer's outing of her identity.
Political fallout.
Correct. We do have individuals we know of. There's, of course, Senator Al Pratt, the senator from Texas as well, seem to be on the side of deviance, but specifically the ambassador to Argentina, Tom Nolan, said that he would be willing to assist us if we contacted him.
Right. He, from what I understand, he owes you a favor for one reason or other. I think you should probably reach out to one of them, if nothing else, at least Mr. Nolan, and get this ball rolling. I can kind of help with the media. That's what I did for many years. I could probably work up some sort of article or something using a pseudonym to help push that through. But the quicker you loop the United States government into this, and I think get out in front of not being, while there's a relation there, you are your own individuals and you are not New Prussian agents, which I think many are scared that you are, especially given your actions in Argentina. The sooner for that, the better.
Understood.
Carry on.
Yes, sure.
What do you think the chances will be that Mainframe will try to contact us if he knows we're back?
It's unclear. His consciousness is clearly not fully developed, and his ability to make decisions that make sense due to social context is clearly massively askew. Should have put significantly more effort into rounding out those edges, so to speak.
If we were to somehow get a message out that he would understand, would it be possible to put that out in the news?
The news is one thing, but perhaps we can try to at least contact him directly. Assuming the Leocom device is still attached and we can use that, we won't have Mainframe to act as our hub, but perhaps I can develop a different system. One that has absolutely nothing to do whatsoever with artificial intelligence.
You know, the one thing I was hoping that when we got back here, he'd order Pizza Hut.
I guess we'll have to do that ourselves.
I know, but
Oh no.
yeah. Anybody hungry?
I am eating now.
Starving.
I guess I'll call. Yeah, but how are we going to get it? Because I don't know how Mainframe got it here. I'll just poof. I'll be back.
Very well.
And so, with that comment, and she poofs away, Meredith says, I don't know if your Mainframe is going to be willing to contact you. If what the Sagan said is correct, he may actually deem all of you a personal threat.
It is possible.
Because he thinks we'd try to stop him.
Correct. And because, if I'm extrapolating this correctly, you did not handle the matter in an appropriate time frame. You sat around and debated it. And lobbed insults, I guess. Or some such.
He seems to be black and white, as your human terminology deems it, that if somebody is a war criminal, regardless of what they have done to either redeem themselves, whether they have paid their price, or what requirements there are, whether it be through local law enforcement or world law enforcement, he deems that someone who is a war criminal is only worthy of destruction.
And at that point, she looks around and she says, I wonder where he got that from.
I thought it was Justin was here.
Yeah, like at that, it's like, I know he's not here, but Hyperion would then glare at Angler for several seconds and not say anything, even if he were to say something
Right,
back.
right, yeah. But Meredith, Meredith at this point, it's clear she's had a couple of months all hit her in one day, and she's just like, I am not the man's friend or fan by any degree, but the fact that one of your own can receive so much help from him and still see him as this bigoted monster likely had a lot to do with driving this.
Yes.
And I'm not the world court. I am not somebody to say who is and who is not a war criminal. That just isn't my place. I've written about it a number of times, but and if he discovered this may have been what tilted mainframe in this direction. But even the United States benefited from sneaking Nazis in, for their technological advancements, kind of sweeping everything under the rug. If he stumbled onto that information, there's no telling. That may have been why he decided to soft target was Ronald Reagan.
That could be. It is also, I cannot help but feel somewhat understanding of our sibling due to some of what happened to him. Though he needs to be able to understand that not everyone is the people that damaged him.
Be that as it may, we now have much work to do. Shown is gone. Let's see. Billy, see what you can do about making yourself at home. I know much is going on, and I apologize for you suddenly arriving when we are literally at our worst. Hopefully you'd be willing to help us.
Absolutely. I was actually going to ask what I could do. I don't want to be a fifth wheel.
For now, at least, get yourself familiar with the vein and what it's capable of. When Shone returns, I'll make sure that she shows you how to use our computer, the various locations that we have, as well as the training room. Once that's done, you'll be...
Is the training room going to still be functional without mainframe to run it?
Everything will be functional. It was before mainframe. He was simply an easy means of controlling things.
I must say, you are human organic. At least part of you is, correct, Billy?
Oh, I'm human. Yeah. Are you referring to the arm?
Yes, I am unaware. I am not familiar, though it intrigues me. Is there nanotechnology within?
No.
Nothing of that.
This is a pretty high-end cybernetic model from my universe.
I would love when we have a chance to study it without damaging it, but to study it. I am seeking to advance nanotechnology. But aside from that, I did want to make mention. This fluid here, and I hold up like my food, is stored here.
Yeah, it's in a container marked Ixion.
Yeah.
Okay.
This, though I would share it if it were possible, I believe you would die a horrible, painful death if you were to drink it.
No plans on that. No
So-
plans on that.
Fair warning at that point.
Thank you.
My alien physiology mixed with Electrum allows me to still imbibe my native other half food sources, so which would be toxic to you. So
That's fair. That's fair. Thank you for the heads up there. Yeah. No, this is elective. This particular thing, and Hyperion and I already had some conversations regarding studying it further, possibly upgrading it, etc. So I'm all in. I just it is the only one I have, and I can't get another one. So that's my only concern there. Small concern, really.
I with Hyperion and my research, I'm sure we could even at some point advance the technology.
That would be spectacular. So, like I said, I'm in. Absolutely. I'll go ahead and get myself familiar with this place, try to find a place to call a bed, and yeah, we can look into that more.
Am I back yet?
Meredith, yeah, you pop back in. Meredith at that point says, since I have a lead then on where mainframe might have gone, or at least a somewhat of a paper trail, I'm going to start combing that area of the world a little bit to see if there was any irregularities, just over the past couple of months, and see what I can dig up. And as I know more, I'll let you know.
Would it be advantageous to track your finances, Hyperion?
Yes, I need to modify that, and also need to see this happens so far with Quantum Unlimited.
Could he possibly be in Cinia?
He could be literally anywhere.
You know, no, I don't know.
No, I don't know.
We were going to check in with Mr. What's his bucket?
It's an interesting name.
Yes.
Mr. Bucket.
Harry baby.
It's
McLaren.
Boucher.
Mr. McLaren. I don't know if he. I mean, I'm sure he has contacts in Cinia still, seeing that he has family there. But I'm not sure if mainframe would be able to move without notice through that area. So I was just debating to myself whether how likely it is that Mr. McLaren had heard anything that would be of use regarding what's happening in San Diego.
It's definitely a point of contact we need to reach out to, not just for Quantum Unlimited, but for what's happening in Senia. And also assuming that mainframe has moved to that location, especially since he apparently received that assistance from them. Right. So, Ms. McLaren, thank you so far for your help, and of course, let us know as soon as possible if you receive anything of note regarding mainframe. We need to deal with them ASAP.
Not a problem. I'm going to go ahead and leave all of you kids then to whatever it is you're going to do. I'll have something developed for Chuckles, so he has a matching uniform.
Chuckles. I assume that's me.
And you may want to come up with a code name for him, just in case.
I've been thinking about that. I was kind of thinking just keep it simple and go with something like Mosh Pit.
there you go.
Excellent.
My mosh pit could work.
Um,
And shown that means you're not allowed to kill him. Because the last heavy metal individual you ran into.
I didn't
Wow.
mean to.
We got some metal hate. What's going on here?
And thank you again for the follow. We had 2 people here follow here recently.
Nice.
Nice.
He hated first.
Okay.
Meredith, would you be interested in learning about Billy's father?
Do I want to? I'm a little concerned given the premise. Why? Just give it to me. You've got that look of like you've got to talk. Just
I just
let me know.
I just thought it might be interesting to hear what could have been.
Maybe some other time.
Of course. I'm sure this is a lot to process.
Oh, it's been wonderfully overloaded to process. And I've got students to get back to. So if you'll excuse me.
Of course.
Tell him we said hi, and
I won't, because I think Mantle is probably angling for one of your numbers. And I don't want to spark that conversation.
Which one?
One of
I'll
your
be right-
numbers.
okay.
I'll be right back.
Scratch that.
He's full of testosterone, dear. He's gonna take whatever he gets.
Point him south.
South, so she looks back over to Lightbringer.
What does that mean?
Why am I going to try and connect Mantle with Lightbringer?
No.
Do you like four-armed
south,
young men?
like the direction south.
Just away from you mean? Not the literal cardinal direction south.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm thoroughly confused. Anyways, kids, have fun. I would say make good choices, but we probably need to reevaluate some of those at this point. Just keep your heads down, and when you make contact with the senator or ambassador, whichever one, just let me know.
Of course. So Hyperion goes ahead and walks her to her ship as she leaves.
Sean's going to turn to Billy and
Some
say,
days you just can't
"She
get
is
rid of a
scary on
bomb.
your world as she is here."
Oh, thank you. We just got rated for 11 by the Liching Hour. Thank you very much. Yay!
When she was up in arms about something, absolutely. But I found her to be really personable most of the time. So there's definitely some differences. But I haven't gotten to talk to her outside of this. So
She has her soft moments.
I have yet to see it.
You didn't hear that from me.
Okay. All right.
The woman terrifies me, and I'm a superhero.
Yeah. It's hard for her to terrify me just because I have a different relationship with. So I know it's not her, but at the same time, it's she's drawn a pistol on me, and I just couldn't help but keep smiling.
Did your grandmother draw a pistol on you?
No. I saw her draw on somebody else once, but no, not me. Like I said, she was really personable with me, but I had a relationship with her, and I don't know this lady, and it's weird, but I'm rolling with it. It's fine. Everything's fine. I can't wait to see what she makes for my uniform since I kind of cheesed her off.
She didn't even ask me where.
I don't think she's too fond of me either, and look at mine.
Yeah, it is pretty badass, so maybe there is hope.
So what we'll do then, kind of bad timing given the fact that we just got the raid and some extra follows, but we're going to go ahead and call for here. That was a solid 3 hours. Thank you
Yes.
guys for all tuning in. I hope you guys had fun. I had a lot of fun. It was
I did.
That was a momentous game.
yeah, a lot happened.
Yep.
Our next game for this is going to be on the 19th. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time when we normally play. Just to let you guys know, we have 2 games coming up next week. We have Cyberpunk on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we have Street Fighter on Thursday the 10th at 7 p.m. as well. So if you're interested in this, please tune into some of our other offerings. We also have Vampire, typically 2 games of Vampire, but that one's coming up on the 18th, Ashland by Night, and that starts at 7:30 p.m. But you can catch all of our videos on our YouTube channel, which is actually linked to the front page here. You can also find us on Facebook, where we have all of our links. If you want to catch up on any shows that or any games that we might have that seems interesting to you. Otherwise, thank you again for everybody for tuning in. Thank you again for watching, and we're going to sign off from here. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
And we are done.
Cool.